Good day, everybody. It's Mark with Killer Grub with Mark. Gonna make some New York style cheesecake. This is kind of a recipe I've kind of come up with over time, trial and error. It's very similar to a lot of recipes out there. What I do a little differently is the way I actually bake it. You've got your basic ingredients. I know cheesecake, some people think cheesecake is really hard to make. It is not. It is really extremely easy to make. If you follow the steps, it'll turn out perfect every time. I know you hear that. I've heard it a bunch of times, but literally, this is super easy. Anybody can do it. You don't have to have a stand mixer. Literally, you can do it with a whisk in a big bowl. You can do it with a hand mixer. I just happen to have a stand mixer, and that's what I use. But you don't need a stand mixer to make perfect cheesecake. This is the real deal New York style cheesecake. My oven. Anyway, sweet, creamy. It's, lack of a better word, it's dense. It's heavy. It's not that light, fluffy cheesecake. It is real New York style cheesecake. You don't need a lot of crust. In fact, if you were to want to make a cheesecake without the graham cracker crust, this would be the one to do it with. I don't put a lot. I just literally put the graham cracker crust on the bottom. I've already prepared the graham cracker crust. Here it is. Okay, it's in my springform. It's a 9-inch springform pan. If you look in the bottom, there it is. I take graham crackers. I grind them up in my food processor. I add some butter and a little bit of sugar, and that's it. This I made probably about a cup. I didn't use it all. I did not want a lot of crust on this cheesecake. The last time I made it, I did the bottom. I probably did a good 1/4 inch thick crust, and then I went up the sides about an inch or so. And I used about a cup of graham cracker crumbs. This time I used a little bit less because I only really wanted it on the bottom, just a little bit to curl up the sides. And then I put parchment paper. I just cut the parchment paper, put some butter on it, I lined it in there. You don't have to do that. You can butter the sides once it cools. I baked it for 10 minutes at 350, just to set the graham cracker crust in there, and then I let it cool, and then I put the parchment paper in there. I buttered the parchment paper. I put it in there just so it kind of turns out pretty, I guess. You don't have to do that. The last one, I didn't do the parchment paper, and it came out beautifully. This will not crack. I'll tell you why. And I'll show you why it doesn't crack. And the secret to that is, I'll show you the secret to that towards the end of this video. I'll explain. This is the secret, the hack, the trick, the whatever, to making a perfect, beautiful cheesecake that doesn't crack. But let's get started. I've got all my ingredients. Whenever I cook, the first thing I do is I get all my ingredients out. I get them all measured. I get them set up. So I am ready to cook. It doesn't take any time whatsoever. I preheated my oven. It's ready to go. The first thing you're gonna do, all right, I've got 4 8-ounce packages of good quality cream cheese. Don't use the cheap stuff. If you're gonna make cheesecake, use good quality cream cheese, okay? And then I'm gonna cream my sugar. I got a 1.5 cups of sugar, so I'm gonna go ahead and dump that in there. Just dump it all in there. You're gonna see this is not hard. All right, and then Start it on low. You're gonna have to scrape the bowl down a couple of times. I started kind of low, and then I'll pick up the speed a little bit. This is probably the only step of the process, creaming the sugar and the cream cheese together, where you're probably going to turn your speed up to medium high. The rest of the time you want it medium to medium low, because the thing is the faster you whip it, the more air you're going to whip into your batter, and then you will end up with a light fluffy cheesecake. So we don't want that. We want a nice dense creamy, I mean really creamy cheesecake. And that's one of the tricks to doing it. Don't mix it too fast. If you're using a hand mixer, don't go really fast. And this portion of it is the only time that I will have it, like I'm gonna turn it up. Like right now, I'm on 4 on my stand mixer, okay? It goes up to 10, so I'm not even medium, all right? I'll probably go up one more notch. The other trick to making perfect cream cheese or cheesecake, get all your ingredients out a couple of hours before you're gonna make it, because you want everything to be at room temperature. You want your cream cheese to be at room temperature. You want your eggs. You want your I have cream cheese. All right. 4 8-ounce packages, 32 ounces. A cup and a half of sugar. A half a cup of heavy cream, room temperature. One of my secret ingredients. Put a little bit of lime or lemon juice in. This happens to be key lime. Okay, that's going to be the back note, the tone, the flavor of this is going to be a key lime. Not going to be really strong. There's less than 1/8 of a cup. All right, 4 eggs, 4 large eggs, room temperature. A cup of sour cream, room temperature. And a 1/4 cup of flour, and then some vanilla. Okay. That's all you need, all right? So I'm gonna hit it one more notch here. Okay, now we're on 6, okay? It's getting really creamy, and what you're really trying to do is you're trying to break down that sugar, dissolve the sugar into the cream cheese. That's gonna help it be super creamy. You want that sugar to be completely dissolved into the cream cheese. I'm gonna stop here in a minute, and I'll scrape down the bowl, then I'll whip it again a little bit, and then I'll start adding my other ingredients. And this is the order you want to add them into, okay? So pay attention to this. Just about ready. It looks really good. Okay. I'm not going to do anything but just scrape down the sides a little bit, just to make sure that, you know, we don't have any unmixed cream cheese. Cabinet. Paste it against the side of the bowl. It doesn't look like we do. It looked like it mixed really well. That's one of the key things about your ingredients being room temperature. It really helps in getting everything mixed well. That looks beautiful. Okay, we'll go ahead and bring it back up. Really nicely mixed. So now I'm going to turn it down a little bit. All right, and now I'm going to add my heavy cream, half a cup of heavy cream. All right, just pour it in there while it's running. All right, and let it do its thing. Let it mix. I will scrape it down after this process as well. Mixing really good. Like I said, I've got it on low. I mean, it's set at 2 right now. It's on 2. I might turn it up to 3 for a minute, but that's it. I probably won't turn it above 2 or 3 the rest of this process, because I don't want to whip a bunch of air into my batter. All right, that's key. That's really important. Okay. What other things what other tricks can I tell you about? I put it on a baking sheet. Here's another thing that you don't need to do, and I used to always do this with when I made cheesecake. I would use a water bath. No more. You know, you put it in a baking dish, and you put hot water in the baking dish, and around your cheesecake, and then you put it in the oven, bake it, or you put a baking dish with hot water inside your oven. Don't worry about it. You don't got to do that anymore. Promise you. Wow, this is mixed really well. I'm going to go ahead and put the key lime juice in there. You don't want too much of the key lime because you don't want it to overtake the wonderful flavor of that cheesecake. Just a little bit is all you need. That looks great. Let me bump it up one notch. It's really creamy. All right, now back down to 2. Now the only time I probably will, I might shut it off to add the eggs, or just turn it on the lowest setting, which is 1. All right, now I'm gonna add an egg. And I only want 1 egg at a time to drop in there, so I kind of use something to keep eggs. I'm just using this to keep more than 1 egg dropping in at a time. Now I'll kick it up a notch. Like I said, 2 or 3 is as high as I'll go. You want to incorporate every egg 1 at a time. Okay? Okay. All right. That egg is fully mixed in. I didn't have to scrape the sides. It's mixing beautifully. I know I say a lot. I need to really work on that, don't I? Okay, that egg's mixed in. Go for another one. Come on, bad boy. Get in there. There we go. A lot of recipes I've seen, they'll call for, 4 eggs and 1 yolk. I've tried that. I've come to the conclusion that just 4 large eggs, perfect. Just perfect. This is looking good. There we go. Let's get her mixed. Okay, that one's in good. Okay, another one. Like I said, 1 egg, 1 at a time until they're fully incorporated. There we go. We've got a lot going on today. I've got a meatloaf in the smoker. I did that, made that video this morning. I'll be posting that one up. I'll probably post this one up later on in the week. Hopefully, if I get time to edit it all. Hey, if you like what you see, if you like my style of cooking, punch that like button and leave me a comment. If you try this recipe out, leave me a comment. Tell me how it turned out. I'd love to hear what you got to say. All right, we're ready for another egg. Last egg going in. Boom. Okay. All right, let's get rid of this stuff. Okay, bump it up. If you like when I'm cooking, you enjoy listening to me, hell, hit that subscribe button. I'd love to have you guys subscribe. I'd love to, man, I'd just love to have as many people as possible trying out my recipes and trying out the different foods. I'd love to hear your comments saying, hey, could you try to cook this, or could you cook that? Or I cook a lot of different foods. I'm not professionally trained. I've never taken any training whatsoever to learn how to cook. I'm completely self-taught. My mother, 83 years old, still cooks every day. I grew up with a mom that was just the most amazing cook ever. And I did learn some things from her. My youngest son, that was his passion. His passion was cooking. And it actually is my youngest son, Mark Jr., who gave me the passion to cook. I can't thank him anymore. Anyway, he's the one that gave me the passion to cook. And I love him for it because I have enjoyed cooking immensely. Okay, now let's put in our next ingredient, sour cream. All right, so I am going to turn this down. Actually, I'm going to turn it off and drop it down. Sour cream. Gotta have sour cream. Okay, for New York style cheesecake, you gotta have sour cream in there. So let's get that in there. It's 1 cup of sour cream. Before I started making these YouTube videos, and I haven't made that many, okay? I haven't made that many yet. I'm working on it. Every ingredient you put in, you want to fully incorporate before you go to the next ingredient, okay? 1 cup sour cream. Anyway, wow, what was I saying? Doesn't matter. Wasn't important. Anyway, I love to cook. I love to eat. Kind of a fat guy. I love to eat. I don't like fast food. I'm not a big fan of going out to restaurants. I love to go out to dinner with my wife, but I would much rather cook her a beautiful meal at home and cook together and enjoy that beautiful meal together. Because I don't know, to me it just, there's a lot more to it. But hey, I will take my wife out to a beautiful dinner. I love it, but I would rather cook at home. All right, that's fully incorporated. The next ingredient, and this ingredient is flour, and we've got 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour. I am going to sprinkle this in slow. You don't want lumps, okay? And we're not going to whip that mixer up on high to get it so there's no lumps, because then you're going to pump a bunch of air into the batter. So I'm going to sprinkle it in there kind of slow while it's running, so we avoid that, okay? So I'm going to sprinkle it in. Let it mix in. I'm just sprinkling it as it's mixing. Okay? Like I said, I'll turn it up, but I'm only going to turn it up to 2 or... There's no 3, it's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. But I'll turn it up to 2 or 4. But I don't want to go over 4. But if you just sprinkle it in here real nice and slow, it'll be fine. There we go. 1/4 cup of flour. Okay? Go ahead and let that mix. We're gonna have one more ingredient, vanilla, and I'm gonna talk to you for a second about vanilla. Use a good quality vanilla. I buy this, I'm an Amazon shopper, all right? Amazon Prime. I don't want to say anything else about Amazon Prime except I love it. This is Nielsen Massey Madagascar bourbon pure vanilla extract. It's like I said, I'm not getting paid by these people. I'm just telling you, this is excellent vanilla. And one of these days, I'm just going to make my own vanilla. Last ingredient. Last ingredient, 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Everything else is incorporated perfectly. I'm going to put a teaspoon of vanilla in here. I'll let that mix in real good. Got a sheet pan over here with some foil in it. I put foil in it just to, I've never had this spill over, but it's a lot of batter. It is going to fill this thing up. Let me pop this up one more notch. Yep, there we are on 4. I've never had it spill over, but you know, there's always a first time for everything, right? It's just about ready. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drop it down, pop it out. I'm going to scrape down the sides and the bottom real good, and then I'm going to mix it a little bit more. All right. Okay. I'm just going to scrape the sides and the bottom real good. Make sure we don't got anything. We don't have anything that's, you know, we don't have any cream cheese or anything else that's stuck. The batter looks excellent. Okay. Okay, there we go. Put that right there. Oof. Turn it back on. Just give it another mix for just a minute. Okay. And we're ready. This is ready to rock. Okay. Told you earlier I was going to tell you the secret of making perfect cheesecake every time. Of course, is quality ingredients. Number 1, use good quality ingredients. Don't go cheap on the cream cheese. Don't use some off-brand. Use a good quality cheese, cream cheese. If you live near a dairy, that's the place to get your cream, your heavy cream, your believe me. Use quality ingredients. Don't skimp on your ingredients. Put this out. Okay. Here's the batter. It's creamy. It is. I mean, that's the batter. Okay. See that? Beautiful. All right. Now I'm going to pour it in. All that beautiful batter in there. I know I've watched a lot of YouTube videos. I know we all do, right? We all watch lots of YouTube videos, right? And it's funny that I'll see somebody make a recipe that, God, just looks amazing, but they don't tell you. I'm going to tap this on there. I want all the bubbles out of it, okay? Boom. There we go. Beautiful. They don't give you the measurements on they'll tell you the ingredients, but they don't tell you it's a cup of this, a half a cup of that, 3 cups of that, whatever. They just kind of tell you the ingredients and they show you how to throw them together. And I guess I can understand that they want to drive traffic to their personal web page or whatever. That's cool. I mean, everybody has their own gig, you know, but I just want you to cook great food. So, okay, it's all ready. Oven is preheated to 475. Here is the trick. The one I was telling you about a while ago. Put it in the oven at 475 degrees for 10 minutes. Don't open the door, nothing. After 10 minutes, drop the temperature down to 200 and then cook the cheesecake for 1 hour at 200 degrees. 1 hour at 200 degrees. Then turn the oven off. Don't open the door, nothing. It's literally just turn the oven off and leave it in the oven until it cools. All right? It's gonna take probably an hour or two. I don't know, depends on your oven. Leave it in the oven till it's cool. Once it's cooled down, take it out of the oven, put it on, I don't know, put it on one of these cooling racks, one of these guys, all right? Till it's cooled completely, and then put it in the refrigerator. You're gonna notice that the middle will still be a little jiggly. It's not completely set up yet. Don't worry about it, that's okay. That's the way you want it. Put it in the refrigerator, 6 to 8 hours in the refrigerator. Leave it alone. All right. Then take it out of the refrigerator. Pop your springform off, and it's ready to go. All right. I'll show you that part when we get to that part. It's probably going to be a video for tomorrow. It's literally like it's 2:45. All right. This thing is not even going to be done and ready for the refrigerator until 8 o'clock tonight. So I'll put it in the refrigerator tonight, and then tomorrow, when I get home from work, it's Sunday, I'll pull it out, I'll pull the springform off, do all that, and then I'll make a video of it, and then boom, I'll show you. It'll be beautiful. So I'm gonna put it in the oven right now. Okay, here we go. Set my timer, 10 minutes. Rock and roll. Like I said, 475 for 10 minutes. Drop your temperature to 200. Set your timer for an hour. Cook it at 200 for 1 hour. Turn the oven off after an hour. Leave it in there. Don't open the door, nothing. Just leave it in there until it's cooled off. Once it's cooled completely, take it out. Make sure it's completely cooled off. Put it in the refrigerator, 6 to 8 hours. Okay? That's all for now. I'm gonna clean up now. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. If you like what you see, if you like the way I cook, if you hit that, smash that like button. If you don't like it, hit the unlike button. Leave me a comment. Tell me what you like, what you don't like. If you like what I'm doing, hit the subscribe button, okay? Anyway, thank you all. God bless. Happy Sunday. How y'all doing today? That says Killer Grub with Mark. I finished up my cheesecake last night, put it in the refrigerator. And all that, I touted perfect cheesecake, never cracks, always turns out perfect. I always, well, guess what? My words bit me, and it cracked. Which I've made this cheesecake recipe. I've made it several times, and it's never cracked before. This is the first time, but it did crack. I'm not gonna, make another cheesecake and fake like it never cracked, and lie to y'all. It cracked. It happens. At first I wasn't even gonna post the video. I was just gonna do a complete another cheesecake next weekend, and then I thought, you know what? We're all humans, things happen. And I'm pretty sure I know what happened. There's a couple of things that will cause your cheesecake to crack. One of them is using cold ingredients. Like your eggs and your cream cheese and your sour cream and your heavy cream. If those things are cold, you're almost guaranteed to crack. over mixing. It's not when you're mixing the cream cheese and the sugar and the heavy cream and the sour cream. It's when you're mixing after you add the eggs. Once you add the eggs, you don't want to over mix it, and I think that was my mistake. I was filming. I think I over-mixed it after I added the eggs, and because that will cause you to get cracks. This is an honest program. I am, if I screw up, I'm going to let you know, and I'm going to, try to replicate exactly what I did. Say next weekend. All right, I'll make another video, and I'll not over-mix after I add the eggs and see what happens. I'll do everything else exactly the same. And if it turns out it doesn't crack, then I know that was what it was. But anyway, let's get back to the cheesecake. I actually, occasionally, not always, but you'll be able to see the crack in this, even though I put sour cream on it. I do put sour cream on the top of the cheesecake occasionally. Fruits on it. But anyway, I put the sour cream on it, and what you do, if you're going to put sour cream on the topping, which is kind of a classic New York style, you just take sour cream, a couple teaspoons of sugar, and say a teaspoon of vanilla. You just mix it up real good, and when you're baking your cheesecake, what you do, once you've shut your oven off and you've let it cool, have that mix ready, mix it up real good, put it on top of the cheesecake, smooth it all out, and then pop it back in the oven at like 300 for like 10-15 minutes, and then take it out, let it cool, put it in the refrigerator. All right, that's if you're gonna put the sour cream topping on it. So let's get to this cheesecake. All right, I'm gonna show it to you. It's still beautiful cheesecake. Here it is. Here's the cheesecake. All right, I'm gonna pick it up and I'm gonna show y'all. There it is. That's a beautiful cheesecake. It is golden brown around the sides. Remember, I had the parchment paper on it. I pulled the parchment paper off, and it's just a beautiful, man, it's beautiful. That was one of the comments, one of the ladies at work, and she's, said about the last cheesecake I made, and I took it to work. She said, wow, it's even got the slight browning around the edges, and that one actually browned up a little around the top over here, and she said, wow, that's exactly, and she asked me for the recipe, and I gave it to her. So, okay, I'm gonna slice a piece now, all right? So let's go ahead and make a cut right here. Boom, man. And just what I do every time I make a slice, I clean off my knife. Keep a towel handy, something. Okay, now we'll. Oh. Remember, I didn't put a lot of crust underneath this one. Okay. I went real light with the graham cracker crust. First piece always sucks, but hey, that one came out pretty nice. I'm not totally unhappy with that. There you go. A little piece fell out right there. Just a little piece fell out. That's okay. Let's take a taste. All right, let's take a taste. You can see that is just creamy deliciousness right there. Oh man. Regardless of how that looks. And I mean, look at that. Look at that cheesecake. That is beautiful, creamy, thick, rich cheesecake. Delicious. Oh. Oh man. That is really good. I'm sorry, that's delicious. And you know, see, I don't have a lot of crust underneath it. This cheesecake, you almost don't need a graham cracker crust or anything on this one. I like it because it gives it a nice base. But look at that. Look at that. That's cheese. That's how cheesecake is supposed to look, how it's supposed to taste. I give that 2 thumbs up. How about you give it at least 1 thumb up and punch that like button if you like what you see, if you like what you hear, you want to see more. Post up in the comments. Let me know what you like to see. Tell me what you liked or disliked about the video. If you like what you see in here, man, hit that subscribe button, ring that bell. If you don't ring the bell, you won't get notified when I post more videos. If you ring the bell, you'll get notified when I post more videos, and I will. So thank you for watching. I hope you make this cheesecake, and I hope you love it as much as I do. Leave me a comment. Tell me what you think of the recipe, especially if you've made it. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you don't like. I want to hear it. I'd like to hear all the comments. I promise that I will reply. I will respond to every comment, good or bad. But thank you. Remember, subscribe, ring that bell, hit the thumbs up, thumbs down, whichever. I'm good either way, okay? And thank you for watching. God bless. Have a great day.